forget your special. Don't you forget your special. Don't you forget your special. Don't you forget your special.
We were all born different, even those that look alike. Even twins have differences and can be identified. Nobody is perfect, I just want you to realize you were born for a purpose, and the purpose you gotta find. So I can relate to the feelings you feel inside.
Welcome to the Able Show podcast. I am your host, Olden Pownese, and here joining me are
Scott Ely,
Rebecca Cristantia, and Bruna Bertossi.
Bruno Matos. Every time you say that name, I feel like eating some pasta. And also, don't forget our resident DJ X-Ray. Yeah. Today's topic is don't break your funny bone. And so it's like, to me, it's like we have a comedian that's like one of the best, and we're gonna bring him on in a little bit. So, you know, we're gonna touch on all kinds of subjects here at the Able Show, and that's the beauty of this show. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are gonna have with us one of the hottest comedians out, Mr. Na'im Lynn. Stay tuned.
Forget your special. Don't you forget your special. Don't you forget your special.
When this old-timer bought this rundown assisted living home, he bit off more than he could chew. With the housekeeping.
Is that a rat?
The customer service.
That's me giving you the finger.
And the repairs.
The plumbing is a mess. Solve that problem. Bucket, bitches.
Now this grouchy grandpa is going to need assistance from family and friends.
Hello? Oh, hell no.
Are there any adults in this room?
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's Assisted Living. New series. Tomorrow at 9 on BET.
2, 3. I can touch you through the phone, or catch you through the universe, in another time zone. It's the only time I can.
Welcome back to the Able Show podcast, and we are joined by our special guest, Mr. Na'im Lynn, one of the funniest men around. Welcome, Na'im.
What's going on, man? Happy to be here.
All right, awesome. So, again, I'm gonna start it off because I just, I gotta do it. I think I remember you telling a joke a long time ago, and I was like, this brother is one of the funniest people. This was years ago, and I was like, wow, he's really funny. So my question is, how did everything get started to where you are who you are?
Okay, I thought you was going to say what the joke was. Okay, well, that's interesting. I know what joke you're talking about. It's an interesting story behind that.
Tell the jokes too.
You want me to talk about that joke?
Sure.
Yes.
If you don't
So, well, because of the way my name is spelled is N-A'-I-M, and my last name is L-Y-N-N, I performed at this college, and this guy came up to me after the show. He's like, because it was a sign with my name. He said, man, I thought your name was Na'im Lynn. And sometimes you just get material for free, and then I just put that in my set. So, but to answer your question, how it all got started, I was in college. It was 1998, and I had always been a huge fan of comedy, and one day I decided I wanted to give it a shot. So there was a guy at my school who used to do this show called Baptism by Fire, which was a spoken word show. And, it'd be rappers and poets, of course, and nobody was doing anything like that. But I told him, I said, next time you do a show, let me know a month in advance so that I can prepare a routine, because that was the only stage that I knew I could get on. And I got on stage, he told me a month in advance, I prepared a routine, and I did like 20 minutes, which is unheard of for somebody's first time on stage. Usually people do like 3 minutes because you go to a comedy club. And it was great. It was great. Most people have I had a standing O. I got a standing O. It was the second show that I bombed. And after that, I quit for about
Humbling.
6 months.
Oh, man.
How old were you this time?
How old?
Yeah,
I was 20 at the time.
20.
And both shows were at my school. So it's not like if you perform at a club where you have to see these people again. So You know, I had this horrible show, and then I had to see all of these people the next day.
And then tell me about the butterflies in the stomach. You have that, like the feeling the first time,
But
right?
was I nervous the first time?
You're nervous?
I was more nervous about remembering my routine because it was so long. I wasn't nervous about being on stage. The second time I was nervous about everything because now there was a buzz and I felt like I had to live up to, you know, the first time. And I didn't know that comedians do the same routine over and over again. So I tried to prepare a whole new routine in a month, and ooh, it was bad. it was bad, and I was so embarrassed.
And what kept you going? Like, what inspired you to keep?
Well, like I said, I quit for 6 months, and then I had a friend of mine told me to just try again. And I went to like some little bar and grill, and I tried again, and it was decent. And then Michael Collier, who you know, he came to perform at my school's homecoming. This is the next school year now. And I asked if I can go up on the show, and he allowed me to, and I did 3 minutes, and I killed. And after that, I was stuck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
So you opened up for Michael?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. There was other people on the show. Talent was hosting the show, but they let me kind of just go out and do.
Talent.
Yeah, him. They let me go out and do a few minutes, and I killed. And then that's when I was like, all right, this is something that I'm going to really stick to.
Okay, awesome.
Do you think that comedy has changed over the years that you've been doing it, or has it affected your style?
Of course it's changed. You know, we're in the cancel culture now, so there's so many things that you cannot say unless you're Dave Chappelle. Then you can say whatever you want.
But has it changed, like, for you personally?
For me, it's I've been able to have an easy transition with the times. You know, I was part of that group of comics that came up where there was no filter. You could say whatever you wanted, and you know, I had some of those jokes as well. But then I got to a point where, okay, like, all right, that's not acceptable anymore, and I can adapt. And it wasn't like the majority of my set was that type of material. It was maybe a joke here or there. So that was the easy transition for me.
Okay, so just staying on that subject right quick. So you mentioned Dave Chappelle, you know, like he's really the only one, like when we look at it, that can make certain statements and comments and jokes. But do you feel some type of way that it's gotten to that point as a comedian? Because you guys were the people we looked to for relief, no matter what it was. And now you guys seem like you are limited in some ways.
I mean, I do think it's unfortunate sometimes because we were like the last form of free expression, I felt. But, you know, certain things are just not okay. And if I'm not saying those things in my normal life, then why would I say them on stage? You know what I'm saying? Because me on stage is the truth. It's me. It's what's going on in my real life. So I wouldn't take the opportunity to make a joke about something that I no longer talk about in my normal life.
Okay. Awesome. Man, anybody else have a question? Because I think we might be, you know what, I'm getting the nod. We're gonna take a quick break, so you stay with us for a minute. Gonna pay the bills. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. DJ X-Ray, talk to me.
Big shot. Man's not hot. I tell a man's not hot, never hot. 40 degrees, that man's not hot. Come on, yo. In the sauna, man's not hot, never hot. Yeah. Skiddy cap,
All midlife crisis is accepting the fact you're gonna die, right? You gotta figure out how you wanna go out. Anybody here wanna be cremated? Round of applause. Few people. I'm undecided, but being cremated is kind of cool, huh? It's like you dead, but you still in the house. Chilling on the table. How long them ashes gonna last? Don't last forever. That shit go to your spouse and your kids. By the time you get down, it's like your great grandson. You're like, you know, throw that shit away.
Trap money.
Welcome back to the show. Again, we're joined by the funny Mr. Na'im Lynn. Oh, now I'm lying. So, Bruna,
Me.
you had a question for Mr. Lynn.
Yes, you work to Kevin Hart, you're writing.
Who? How you pronounce that?
One second, Kevin Hart. And you wrote for his.
No.
No, this is not true at all.
No.
That was about.
I think on my IMDb credits they have me listed as a writer for like Laugh My Pain, which is inaccurate. I've never done any writing for Kevin. You know, as comedians, sometimes we have powwows or we watch each other perform and then we'll give each other what we call a tag, like, which is, okay, you have this joke, it's funny, here's something you can add to it to make it funnier. We do that for each other. So that's not, you don't get writing credits for that. Okay. I'm just his opening act. I tour with him, when he goes on tour, I go on stage before him, warm the crowd up, and that's really about it. And then we had a radio show together.
Can you explain that right quick for our audience? Warming up the audience. What is that per se?
So you just kind of you get the crowd ready for more laughter.
So you got to be really funny then.
Right.
Okay.
So, but it's not solely me. We have a host named Joey Wells, then there's a guy named Spank Horton.
Brother Joey.
Right, and then me. So by the time I get on stage, they're extra warm, and all he gotta do is just come and just do his thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I have a question. So obviously, it's about your sets and whatnot, but really more about your style, because I've noticed, as I've spent a decent amount of time in comedy clubs, a lot of comics come up and they look half-dressed. You look like you put some thought into your stuff. I've seen you perform too. I really like the way you always put yourself together.
Yeah, I mean, most comedians have zero sense of fashion.
I've seen it.
All the way up to Chris Rock. They can't. They can't dress.
Right. If you guys need help, let me know. I'm happy to come assist.
Oh my God.
God awful.
Yeah. So was that something that it's always been in you? Because I don't know you from a young comic, but I've seen you again. So.
There's some type of term going around, fashionable versus something, versus style.
Yeah, you have your own style, personal style.
I've found certain brands that fit my body well, so I kind of stick to those. But I've always wanted the way that I live now is the way that I always envisioned myself. I envision myself being stylish and having nice cars and clothes and all of those things. So, but you can look back, any person that's into fashion can look back 5 to 7 years and be like, what the hell was that I had on?
It's true.
So.
Guilty.
Right.
Cross colors.
Right. So I think I'm in a nice pocket right now that even 10 years from now, I could look back like, that was okay. That was cool. But I'm always trying to evolve with what's going on in fashion. I was part of that era where everything was super baggy. Like I was wearing 3X sweaters. I used to dress just like, you remember the Wayans brothers? Yeah. I used to dress just like Marlon. We had the same outfits and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, but thank you. I do care. I care about my appearance very much. And I also like to be, a good comic as well, not just someone that's on stage trying to look nice. I try to be as funny as possible, so thank you.
And following what Rebecca said, how much of your style do you put into your own comedy when you're on stage?
My fashion?
Or I mean, just like your sense of routine, your comedy, or like your home life, or?
Oh, it's everything.
Everything? Okay.
Everything. One thing about being a stand-up comic is it's really important to be personal, to talk about your life, your family, all those things, because those are the jokes that can't be stolen. Anybody can have an observational joke and remix it or current events and do it all different types of ways. And you're like, oh, well, you stole my joke. I'm like, well, this is a current event. I thought of it too. And if you do a current event, you have to make sure you put your own twist on it so that it's kind of unexpected. But I do a lot of material about my family and my life.
What
You got like crazy uncles and all that?
I do.
They spend a lot of time with your family for taking some stuff. What is the advice you give for like the new people who wanna become like comedians like you in the field?
I think it's just like anything you do in life, it takes reps to become a solid person at whatever you're doing. I don't care if it's an athlete or any form of entertainment, you play instruments, whatever, it's the reps. You got to put the time in to really get good at it. And also, you have to study the people that came before you.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of new comics, they go for easy jokes. We call it low-hanging fruit, right? So, you might do a joke that it's kind of like hacky, like it's something that's not taking much originality. Someone else may have done it before. So that's what a lot of new comics do. So if you're a new comic and you could come in with your own perspective and you're talking about things that are personal to you, then you'll be ahead of the rest of the people in your class for sure.
So I've been around, since the beginning.
Know everybody.
I know everybody. I've been around. And one of the things that we used to always talk about was joke stealing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. So somebody steals a Na'im Lynn joke. How do you handle that?
It depends. Like I said, the material that's personal is impossible to steal. Somebody will tell them they stole it before I even say it. Gotcha. When it comes to the observational stuff, I usually don't trip about it. It's like, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna retire that material, I'm gonna put it on TV, and then people are really gonna think you stole it. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna be doing that joke for years and I'm on to the next.
Chucky ducky quack quack.
Right. But yeah, I don't really care about it. Sometimes I'll mention, it's been rare where I've said something to the comic. But for instance, there was a comic recently who I know saw my set because he tried to give me some tags to the set. And then he went and performed at the Laugh Factory and he was doing some of my bits. And I told the producer of the show, her name's Lonnie, I was like, this is my material. Wow. And I was just like, and I showed her proof, like, look, this is part of my special and he's doing the same thing, it's almost verbatim. Wow. And I just like, it's just terrible.
Ooh,
it's terrible.
I'll be swinging.
Sorry for that.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break and with closing remarks, so stay tuned. You're watching The Able Show. DJ X-Ray! Welcome back to the Able Show podcast. And again, we're joined by Mr. Na'im Lynn.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what was it like meeting Tyler Perry? Like, what was your interactions together?
So the story about Tyler Perry is one I enjoy telling because he actually saw me perform at a show with Kevin in Atlanta. And I had befriended his stylist, Crystal Hayslett, who is now one of his biggest stars. She has her own show. And they were at the show, and then she told me that he thought I was hilarious. So I said, well, tell him to give me a job. And that was maybe like, I don't know, maybe September or whatever of 2019, or 2018, I'm sorry. And, then we do radio. So on radio, I mentioned something about him, just kind of bigging him up. And she shared the clip with him. And she just told me he laughed. And then I think it was like May 3rd. This was like, you talking, how many months is that later? That's 8 months later, something like that. And my phone rang. Actually, I had 2 messages on Instagram from somebody at TPS saying, casting wants your number. So I gave it to him, and then like 10 minutes later, my phone rang. It's like 8 in the morning, on West Coast time. And I answer the phone, I'm thinking it's somebody from casting. And he goes, Na'im, it's Tyler Perry.
Oh, no.
I got the frog in my throat, I'm like, what? It's who?
Morning breath.
Right. I'm like, it's who? He says, Tyler Perry, man. He said, I really love it. He was real quick about it. I really love what you do, man. We should work together.
Nice.
Do you have anything going on, et cetera, et cetera? And I was like, man, I would love to work with you. Let's do it. And then he's like, yeah, let's keep in touch. I got a show that I think you'd be great for. And some time went by, I didn't hear anything, and then September of 2019, I got called in for an audition, and it was a Tyler Perry show, and I wasn't sure if my reps had just gotten me this audition or if this was through him. So I went in and I did the audition, and I gave a great audition, and then I spoke to him. And actually at the end of the audition, the casting director, Kim Coleman, she says, all right, we'll see what happens. Tyler Perry loves you.
Wow.
And I was like, right. So I was so happy that she said that after the audition, because if she had said it prior, then I probably would have bombed the audition. I would have been nervous.
You're gonna be stuck.
Yeah. So she said that, she's like, he really wants you for this part. So I said, all right, great. And I'm like, and I was confident on my audition. And that's how Assisted Living came about. And then he casted the rest of the show, but I was number one. And on there he put, David and Tamla Mann. And they may have been in mind for the show already, but I know the show was based around my character.
Yeah, because they've worked with him. He usually work with the same people usually.
Right.
But that's so crazy and dope. That's a dope story.
And I truly manifested that because, number one, I told her, tell them to put me in the show. I had this joke that I did with the Na'im Lynn joke. Part of it was after I said the Na'im Lynn, I was like, but yeah, look out for me, y'all. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. And I changed it, I tweaked it several times. And one time I said, yeah, I got this movie coming out with Cat Williams, whatever, right? This was way back in 2008. And one of the times I said, I got a new show coming out with Tyler Perry. And I said the Browns on it and everything. And I didn't even realize, I didn't even remember that I said that until I was listening to our station one day and they played that bit. And I was like, I was so, I don't even know the word to explain how I felt. But I was like, wow, because I'm really into manifestation and the laws of attraction. And I'm always careful about the negative things that I say because they'll come true as well. But the fact that I actually said I have a show coming out with Tyler Perry and the Browns are on it, and for that to happen 12 years later, exactly what I said was like, man, you got to trust it.
Wow.
Yes.
That's right, man. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Right. Wow.
Amazing.
I know you're blowing up on the internet, but for the folks that don't have you, where can we find you? Where can we follow you?
You can follow me at Na'im the Star. That's NAIMTHESTAR on Instagram and Twitter. And you can also catch me on Assisted Living on BET. Also, we have a show that comes on Sirius XM Channel 96. Nice. It's called Straight from the Heart. And look out for a new comedy special coming out from me in 2024. And also pull up to my gym. I own a Mayweather Boxing and Fitness franchise.
Oh, really?
One of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull up to my gym, get a workout.
Okay.
You ain't signed up at mine.
You got one on Wilshire.
Where's yours?
Mine is in Porter Ranch.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a far. Ooh,
That's
Lord,
a pull up. That's a carpool trip.
We'll think about it. But I have one last thing to say to you before we leave. I see you online all the time. All my friends, everybody, you name them, Bubbles and Kim Whitley and everybody at your house when you're having these parties. Where my invite?
Okay.
Mine got lost in the mail. What's going on?
You got to go to Mayweather first.
I need my invite. You look like you throw some really fun parties.
Okay, invite us.
OP. I mean,
Everybody.
am I supposed to send it through a pigeon? Because I don't have your number, man.
Everybody has my number and info. I'm going to make sure you get my info.
I'm going to get your info,
Okay.
and next time you see Bubbles,
Because I get tired of watching you guys have fun.
if Bubbles say she's going to my house, then you tell her Na'im said to invite me to her, and just pull up, man.
Okay.
Love to have you, man.
He has some great parties.
Yeah, I do have good parties.
I want to go. Well, thank you so much for enjoying
That's my
us.
pleasure, man. I'm so
Thank
happy to be
you.
here with y'all.
Awesome.
And you guys watch the Ever Show. See you next time.
Even if I try to, late night when I slide through, can leave you when it's time to. When it's time, I can't leave you. Even if I try to, late night when I slide through, can leave you when it's time to. When it's time to go. Ghost.